There's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. The brothers Meredith will be back soon. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please. Hang on, hang on, hang on, please.
Hello everyone, hello. Is it working? Everything's working. I think the game might be a bit loud. I can see it being loud.
The game is loud. Can everyone hear me, most importantly?
Most importantly, everybody shut up. Can you hear Sam?
Canst thou hear me?
Zero has shouted, hello. A Sam too. Yes, also a Sam.
Yes.
Sam as well. Do you know how you can tell? Because Sam was in the hold image. That's how there is a system.
There's a system.
And I take people in and out of the images unless I forget. But if that's not the case, then
But it's like all those ancient, like a Dan Brown conspiracy book.
yeah,
Like all the clues were there,
yes,
unless an ancient cardinal forgot to put some of the clues in.
that is a thing. Like, and again, conspiratorial thinking means these things don't work anyway. But like, people make mistakes. They're like, oh, there's this ancient code and all these clues, like, or someone fucked up
Or someone whiffed it. Yeah, exactly.
Just because you're an ancient Mesopotamian didn't mean you weren't capable of really phoning a day at the temple in, and you just fucked up.
So, on that note, on that exact note, outside,
I can't believe you have a
almost.
I can't believe you have a relevant anecdote.
It's extremely relevant.
It's
So,
apt.
outside of the FBI cryptography building,
Yes.
is a monument to cryptography.
Yes.
I think
This is
we might
ringing a
touch on
bell.
this
This is ringing a
before.
bell. Go on.
And it's a big stone tablet, and it's got a encrypted data on it, and people have been working for years to decrypt it, and there's lots of clues and dead ends and red herrings, and it's very, very clever. Anyway, they decrypted some of it and went back to the guy who built it and were like, is this the answer for part of it? And he's like, hey, I don't know, I've forgotten. And then they decrypted another bit of it and went back to him, and they went, is this right? And he's like, it's wrong, but it's because I made a mistake when I made the monument. He beefed it.
You beefed
because
it big time.
It's a human being doing something complicated over a lot, and it was like going back and forth between contractors and things, you know, all the usual problems.
Like, not only is it no one else can possibly understand it, and so when the stonemason is trying to fucking chisel it into rock and
he
cannot
has
go
no
back.
idea.
He'll know.
Yeah.
He'll no idea. And you know what? If he got it wrong, he'd had a lot of incentive not to tell you that he got it wrong. Or just say,
Exactly.
like, yeah, no, I did that. He's like, did you? I don't know. I just don't want to chisel the fucking thing again. Do you understand how much work it is to fix a
And that
spelling
was-
mistake in stone?
That was a modern project where
People had emails.
someone was being paid to do a job, and it was pretty low stakes. I mean, it's a cool thing, but he wasn't protecting like the
secrets
doomsday
of-
weapon that will.
No.
It was just a bit
supposed
of
to sound
fun,
nice.
basically. Yeah.
It was a bit of fun and you fucked it up.
And he,
Yeah, incredible. Well, I suppose if you haven't got like a temple chief standing next to you being like, I will kill you if you get this wrong.
I will cut your head off if you
So
get this wrong. Yeah.
the incentives are high.
Yeah.
But then again, people don't work well under stress. So there's there's factors at play.
Yep.
Welcome everybody. I believe you're all talking about pets, as you should be. Thank you very much to Vay Coffee Cup, who just resubscribed with Prime. They've been subscribed for 47 months. Guess what, Sam? It's the 2nd of April. New month. You know what that means?
April Fool's Day, second.
It's
second
the
April
April
Fool's
Day. April Fool's Day is the day on which you play pranks. The second April Fool's Day is the day on which you tell people harsh truths. And the harsh truth I have for chat is that if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you probably have a new free Prime subscription that you can give to someone. And I know you probably haven't given it away to someone yet because it's only the 2nd. And yeah, sure, is it rude to come to people and ask for gifts? Yes, it is. But I'm a very rude man. So if you're thinking of gifting that sub to somebody, then why not make it this channel? You fucks. Again, I'm really judging the tone here badly. Thank you so much for coming. You fucking... But hey, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
really lovely to see you all. I'm going to get you.
You've crossed me and you're going to pay. And also, thank you so much for the wine. And also, I will find you. But also, look, why don't you relax? You know?
I think it's lovely what you've done with the place. I love this open plan layout. I'm going to bury you under that bit of floor. But
does this have cardamom in it? It's quite nice.
it's delicious. This mulled wine is wonderful. I'm going to kill you.
A very careful get. Tim, why are you being annoying? Hello,
this your
I'm
first
Tim.
time?
Hello, I'm Tim Meredith. Hello. We've met. Oh, I've just realised I'm over further, so I can just put my hand mostly in front of your face. I'll chip stuff over. Also, Sam, Oh, Vacoff
Hello.
has told me to shut up. The thing is,
well.
Vacoff has already given me the Prime subscription, so my incentive structure has shifted until the 1st of next month. So we'll just save it. We'll just save the time. So
Oh,
I'm
my
gonna
green
move
screen's looking
your
a bit
green screen.
peaky,
Now,
innit?
I think that's because you got a light shining into the top right-hand corner, or at least on my screen, and I think that is giving you a very, very shiny.
So
Yeah.
let's change that. Let's move that one, and I'll straighten out the curtain and see if that helps at all.
Yeah. And then I can mess with the settings. While Sam is a very coffee cup, Jesus Christ. Very smart. Oh man, Vague just told Tim to shut up. Didn't even waste channel points in the shut up reward or anything. Harsh. Yeah. It was like from the heart. It was from the gut, and I respect that. Well, that's helped a little, yeah. Okay. So it keeps correcting, Sam. It's correcting for your
Hello.
face. So what I think I should do is I will change things on my end, because it was looking good, and then you sat down, and then it did white balance things and got
Is
bad
it
again.
or is it my camera settings as well?
I don't know. Well, let's see if I can do. Let's see if I can do this.
Try that.
'Cause, hang on. So if I do that, that's probably a little bit better. Color spill. Is it color spill stuff? No.
No, you just got to like all the meaningless little sliders. You just
Yeah,
have to move them up and
smoothness.
down.
The smooth. Oh,
Smoothness of what?
Ghost Sam.
I'm a ghost.
Well, that's
I'm
better.
going to haunt you.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, I
I
think
have unfinished business.
you can't finish unfinished business.
I mean, I do. You know, at any point, whenever I die, there's going to be some shit I haven't done, isn't there?
Oh, you're gonna have forgotten so much admin. I think I know exactly what's going on. Because
Yep.
Sam, of course, you haven't got even lighting, so you've got a light
not even.
from that side, and so whatever we do now, I've put it to the point that it seems much better. And in fact, yeah, leave that. That's working.
Yep.
Whatever
Okay,
that is,
just leave
that's
it.
working.
That's
Yeah.
not.
Let's not complicate this. Very coffee cup. Tim looks so pale in comparison to Sam. In real life, Sam, I don't know because I can't see my own face. And as I say this, I know that this therefore must be true for you because you can't see your own face. But I'm going to plough on and require an answer from you. But do you think we're the same kind of pale?
I think we're the same kind of pale. Yeah.
And yet, through the magic of cameras,
I'll try. Hang on. Let me try and look at my own face. Wait. No, wait.
Yeah, and just mind your neck because I've tried this before, and you can wrench your neck.
No,
No.
I can't get it.
No.
I think we're about the same shade of pasty British man.
Pasty Brit, pasty Celt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to try and do, and I probably shouldn't try and do it whilst the stream is going, but here we are. This is what happens when we're on a midweek stream. One of the reasons... that's not right. One of the reasons... For fuck's sake, stop opening web pages, Windows, please. One of the reasons I was messing around with my stream setup and caused such problems is because my audio interface was getting hitchy and cutty, and then I set it up with a completely new one, and once I solved all the problems, it was sounding like a robot. I found it was doing a similar thing, and it turned out it's just Discord. It's just Discord grabbing the audio, and causing hitching
Fucking it up.
for no good reason. But and here's where things get exciting. I think there's a setting within the sound, within the device properties, within the additional device properties, where you can tell it to not let any program do stuff with
Oh,
it.
take exclusive.
Take
use
exclusive
of the thing.
control.
Yeah.
But I'm now looking at this, and I might have already done it, and I'm now discovering that if it's happening now, it means it doesn't work. Fucking Discord.
Fucking guy.
This fucking guy. I just have to deal with it. So annoying. Why is Discord so annoying? Anyway. Oh, the game is
you
quite
think
loud.
for the price it would be better, wouldn't you?
What, free? Yeah. So I stepped on
Doesn't
your
stop
joke
them.
by taking you literally, which I do a
Doesn't
lot.
doesn't stop them promoting that stupid Nitro thing. They're always
What
like,
is
"Do you wanna-"
Nitro?
I've no idea. Like it seems to be. Do you want to pay for a thing that is currently free,
Yeah.
and you get emojis? You get like extra emojis or something. I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
No, I'm alright. Well, what about if we start to take features away and make those paid features?
Oh,
Could that be? you like
the
that?
Microsoft special.
Vague Coffee. Oh, sorry. So Fox Up has a game is quite loud. I've just turned it down, so let me know if that's better. Vague Coffee Cup said, "What game? What game?" Roten Time Machine. Tim looks like a newly minted young Father Christmas.
when they come off the production line.
What a fresh.
How
Mr.
are you
Christmas.
starving? There are potatoes everywhere. Eat some potatoes. How are you starving?
This is Sam's one-man show, Settlers of the New World Overseer Edition.
Just eat a potato.
Eat a potato,
There's
you fuck.
food everywhere.
Although, guess what, Sam? Potatoes
What?
aren't vegetables.
Potatoes aren't vegetables.
They do not count as
They
vegetables.
are tubers.
They are indeed tubers, and they don't contain enough vitamins to sustain somebody as the vegetable part of their diet.
But isn't
Now, hang on.
vegetable
Sorry.
just a marketing name anyway?
Yes, the definition of vegetable, they wouldn't be considered as one of your 5 a day. They don't contain
gotcha.
enough nutrients or anything. They're
What,
basically
even-
carbs. They're carbs. They're a
even
box of carbohydrates.
chips? Come
Even
on.
chips.
Even chips?
But you know what would count? Sweet
What's that?
potatoes. Because
Oh,
whilst they're a tuber, they are more
Fucking sweet potatoes.
virtuous.
Bane of my life.
KTB, Sam, I don't want a potato, I want pizza. KTB, get out the space station because in this quadrant of the galaxy, it's Sam Ray rules and it's potato time.
Yeah, out here we're growing our food in space, right?
Yeah.
So we have limited options. There's fruit and nuts, synthetic meat,
That's kind.
that grows in a little pod. So that sounds good.
Yeah, pod meat.
Root vegetables, and the picture is carrots and potatoes.
Those are root
and
vegetables.
then
Well, no, potatoes, not
fruit.
vegetables. Gone.
Fruit, and the picture on the fruit appears to be an orange, a lemon, and a tomato. Which, I mean, they're all fruit. Or are you going to tell me lemons aren't fruit?
Lemons
they're
aren't
yellow?
fruit. Lemons are a kind of currency. I suppose they could count as medicine for scurvy.
Yeah,
Scurvy medicine.
they're like, where's the... Go on, sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Sarah, how dare
already.
you? Cereade vegetables are fake, and someone on Penguins has said that potatoes do count as a vegetable if you're not a coward. So, okay. Darcy does cosplay.
That's true.
If you don't want the potatoes, I'll take them. So please mail your potatoes to Darcy Does Cosplay. Darcy, could you set up a PO box? I don't want you to dox yourself. Could you set up a PO box and share the address here so that everybody can mail you international potatoes, which also means international sort of botanical diseases.
Yeah.
And we can just really make sure they spread around.
Also, the people who work at the PO box place are gonna be furious.
Oh yeah, because you know what smells really bad when it goes off. Weirdly, a potato they go so wrong.
Yeah, they go hard
rot
when they
in
go
the-
off.
But I suppose they are
hard.
because they're carbs. When they degrade, they turn into sugar. So you basically create a very powerful kind of environment for bacteria.
Yeah, the bacteria's like fucking party time.
Party time. Bake Off, one of my biggest culture shocks during my Scotland trip is that you guys actually for real advertise your vegetables and fruits as one of your 5 a day on the non-degradable, non-optional plastic label. Jarring. Yeah. The country's not well. Vague.
There's a deep sickness.
Vague. Remind me, where are you from? I know you've probably told me, and I can only apologise. And I'm aware this feeds into the discourse.
Can you tell us though, in the vaguest possible way? Can you give us some really vague clues about where you're from?
Yeah, okay. I've got an all caps Timberley. Yeah, I've definitely asked this and have been told. Germany. Is it Germany? Oh yeah, Sonar Penguins. Vegas from Germany. Come on to. So to be fair, my first get it was clearly in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Fox about Tim. Everybody knows where Vegas from. Fake Coffee Up. I hate it here. Look, this is a noted part of what's wrong with me is that I can't remember facts about people unless I've met them 40 times in person. And then they start to sink in. Laser Kiwi, hey Tum, where am I from? Now, this might just be very coffee up Tim, we all have ADHD, you're not special. I might have other things, you don't know. Where am I from? Les Kiwi, are you from New Zealand? Simply because your handle says Kiwi.
It's a safe bet. I would have gone for New Zealand as well.
I know where Ingstein
fellow
Danny's from
countryman.
now. because there's something arrived physically from them, and it had their country of origin. So that's in there. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't know if Inkstone Danny has said, so I'm not going to even. I'm not even going to countrywide dox them. Fox up out. Tim thinks I'm French. Last time I checked, I'm going to infer from that maybe Foxlab isn't French.
Not French. Okay.
Odin's
Where
speaking-
is the
Tim keeps-
flipping
Tim keeps changing where
CO2?
from. It's
I've got enough
dissolved in the
CO2.
air, mostly.
Well,
So, for people who are watching my screen, because I haven't actually played any of this game yet, I'm playing, as in this session, I'm playing Man of Lords. The last game you saw me play, that is gone. That is dead. I have burned through a game, learned all the things I don't like about the way I build cities, and I've now come to this one. And I'm trying to make it sort of quite organic looking, and sort of like it might. So, for example, I'm trying to make all the crossings sort of wide and muddy and with desire lines rather than being sort of like right angly, which is a pain in the ass to do and makes the building more difficult, but I kind of like how it ends up looking. Sort of try to follow some contours a little bit. Doesn't always work because there's some... are you still the Sad Snail Dynasty? No, so for this one I've made a different one. I will do Sad Snail Dynasty again. This guy... Hang on. Can't remember what I'm called. Is there a way to view who the hell I am? Or is it just this picture? This weird guy? I can go into visit mode, but that just puts me here. I don't even know how to look at my guy and who I am. But anyway. Sad Snail isn't dead. He just rests. I can't
it's
remember
gone
what
to the
I
same
called.
place all of your abandoned video game characters go. Just
It's a special clinic.
a nether world, a nether purgatory.
Yeah, they're all in a waiting room talking to each other. Seven Penguins, this has ruined my day. We'll come back to it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, 71 Penguins. Pinch and zoom on the video. Yeah. And you know, I might have sorted something, but this is a very unplanned stream. We just sort of decided to have a little
Just happens.
hangout.
These things just happen.
Sam, remind me at the
Hello.
end of
Go
the
on.
last stream, we took a little vote and decided what we were doing the next week. What did we decide, Sam? What did democracy say? I
I
can't remember.
think people wanted more.
Yes,
Kingdom.
because we had just
Here comes the king.
ended up in King of the Castle. Can never remember its
King
name.
of Castle.
Because there's another game called For the King, which is not that game, and I keep just thinking of that. Random Time Machine, Tim. I was not expecting you to do that. Then you don't know me at all. Yes, because the North had just taken over, and we're going to watch that. Fine,
Yep.
That's good. That works. I'm enjoying that game. I'm enjoying
good.
its narratives. But yeah, so we're just I'm gonna play some of this and see where we get to. Right, where had I got to? We got some farming sorted out. I wasn't dying of hunger. I've got loads of fuel. Probably too much. That actually suggests to me that maybe I'm over cutting up wood. Over cutting up wood. Over felling.
No.
Over foresting. What do you call it?
Over producing firewood. Too much fuel.
Yeah, but sort of like what happens when I'm deforesting, as we always do.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah, that's the Sam and Tim special. Is destroying the local.
Why does every game contain it? I don't know. Talking about you, an unplanned stream, but you're always so professional. Hey, guess what? We agreed to it on a chat. I gave the mods a good 40-minute warning on the Discord, and then we turned it on.
And then we were 10 minutes
everything
late.
worked. And then I turned up to the call 4:09 because
Yeah, exactly.
I was
yeah.
eating dinner
It was very casual.
because
It's
I
cash.
forgot. It was cash.
So cash.
Thank you, Vague. Dice could play. All right, pick my next yarn color: blue gradient, yellow, plain blue, grey, or white. For some reason, I kind of want grey, which I don't think I would normally pick. But I was just thinking, you know, those kind of like warm grey jumpers, not like a cold grey, but a warm grey with sort of like flecks of dark flecks in it, like
Can
like your cuddly bowl of porridge.
Whatever color you pick, can you make it the design on the front of the jumper a big, like, really fucked up horse face?
Yeah, like it's a really like a horse face, but one
Like a
that's sort of
real-
been like it's been described down the phone to an artist with a concussion. And just
Yeah,
whatever
real
they came up with.
bug-eyed freak.
Yeah, like a real, like an upsetting. Like people don't look at it and go, "Well, look, a funny cartoon horse." They look at it and go, "There's something terrible. Is this for a charity? Is this some sort of
need to-
specific condition that horses get that we need to raise money to stop?"
Mr. and Mrs. James, we need to talk about your son. That kind of horse.
Yeah.
You know, a real.
He's a horse,
You have to see
and he's a
the
fucked up
counsellor.
horse at that. Yeah, yeah. What we need to talk about Kevin, but as a horse. So the horse has done something terrible. I don't know what that film is about. That book that then was a film with, I think, Tilda Swinton in it.
It did have Tilda. And what's his face? Zach. No. What's his name?
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Handsome. Who's the guy in? Not John C. Reilly. Fuck. What was his name?
Not
Didn't
John
he
C.
get?
Reilly.
Didn't he get cancelled?
I,
Oh, what's his name? All right, I'm gonna
look it
find
up.
out.
but once you look it up, don't just tell me. Give me clues.
Ezra Miller.
Oh, it's Ezra
did
Miller,
just
as
tell
in the Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, as a child, he was the child.
He was the child. Well, he
Who's-
was the young teen.
Yeah, I was going to say because like Ezra Miller is not that old. Who's the husband?
John C. Reilly.
That was John C. Reilly. Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
John C. Reilly was in it, which is why I was confused when you said not John C. Reilly. Who was
Not
Ezra
John
Miller?
C. McGinley.
Not John C. McGinley. Not President William McGinley. No,
No.
McKinley. It's McKinley, not McGinley. with a big Tilda Swinton. Oh, Ezra uses they them pronouns. Just
Oh,
because,
excuse me.
Sam, just because they're a
No.
cancelled monster doesn't mean you can't respect their pronouns. I'm
well,
sorry
I think,
about that.
yeah. I am. Yeah, I do apologise. I didn't know. That's on me. Right. Ezra Miller is a shithead. They are a shithead.
They were. I can't remember at what point I dipped into that story. I dipped into that story with the point where they're like, it was kidnapping and maybe cannibalism, and I believe it got a lot more complicated from there as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And just to clarify, chat, I don't want to know because I dipped in and went, no, thank you. So don't worry about explaining it to me. But I was just the fact that when I looked at it, it was like, this is fucked up. And then from what I understand, it's even more.
Yeah. Even more complicated.
more
Right.
weird.
Do you have some?
I lose
energy
the ability to
to
play this
trade.
game as soon as I'm on stream. Because I think
We
what
just
I
talk.
normally
That's why
because I
we
chat.
shouldn't play complicated games because we just.
Very coming up. Tim loves ignorance. I'm tactically choosing ignorance because I know for a copper-bottomed fact that this particular set of information doesn't fucking matter to me. Like, there's nothing I can learn about
No.
this situation that is going to change any of my views or my life. So I don't need
It's
to.
true. No.
Ellie Baxter, you kept
No.
it longer than me. I stopped after the kidnapping, and I don't care to know more than that. Exactly. And also, I do love ignorance. That's why I love the Dark Ages. Guess what? That was a trap, because now some history fan is midway through typing the sentence that the Dark Ages was not an age of ignorance. The Dark Ages refers to the fact that actually our records are not good of it, so we have less information about it. But that doesn't mean that the Dark Ages was actually That's right. I know you people. I know. Whereas cannibalism was Army Hammer. Don't know if it was also Ezra Miller. I think it was also.
Actually, we used to write the letter D as a P. It's actually the Park Ages. It was actually
It's
a
actually-
huge rise in municipal leisure grounds.
Yeah.
Was what it was about.
That was actually when Bishopsgate Leisure Centre was founded, if you'd bother to learn.
You've bothered to learn anything.
Right, I've just remembered how the game works, so I'm trying to make sure these people are happy. They have got their amenities because I built a church. We're going to... Ellie Baxter, Tim, you motherfucker. I just moved to type as you called me out. Yes! Yes, Ellie Baxter.
Got you.
I know
You fell into our trap.
I know you. Do you know why? Because I am you. Because I would have been there. Oh, did you actually know that the Dark Ages...
Actually.
Were you aware? Resma... Oh, so no penguins. Just happy that I'm wrong. Happy that I'm wrong. Karen, I finished brushing my teeth, and the first thing I hear after is kidnapping and cannibalism. What happened to the cozy? It's back. It's back. Ali Baxter, but also the issue is mostly a case of manuscripts are fragile, and 90% of the records were created, or just burned or otherwise destroyed. What's that? There's a thing. There we go. That's the fact. There's
Burning.
the thing. There's the thing
There is
about
the
there is one particular civilization we know lots about because they happen to have all of their records in clay tablet form, and
Oh yeah, so they survived.
Well, specifically because when their civilization sort of started to collapse and their sort of main places were, like the palace and the main city were invaded, they were all burned down, and so it baked the clay. It baked it super fucking hard. So the fact that the reason we know so much about them is partly other factors, but partly because their civilization, their basically hall of records at the center of their civilization was burned the fuck down. Ali Baxter is saying Mycenaean. Karen, Uruk. Uruk sounds right. Uruk sounds right to me. Yeah, Uruk sounds right to me. And then there's another one that it has the a specific sort of like historical problem named after it because they wrote all of their stuff on like dried bark.
Brilliant.
And so they've got lots of stuff
Famously
about
flammable.
Famously biodegradable. Like even to them, they were like, oh yeah, we have to copy this all out again every 40 years, which means that things do not survive when your civilization stops copying them down. But yeah, they've got like all of this evidence for a civilization, and they know they wrote, and they know they did this, and they know they did that, but they've just got nothing.
Yeah,
they got nothing.
It'd be like if you put all of your most important data really precariously on tiny little magnetic discs.
Oh, what that can corrupt just because
just for no reason.
Just for no reason at all. Yeah. Well, thank goodness we didn't do that. That'd be awful.
That'd be silly.
Okay, so we need some level 2 burgerage plots. I love my curvy burgerage plots.
Oh, okay. Ali Baxter says that wasn't firing by case of the towns being burned. As far as I know, they fired the clay because the records needed to stay intact over travel. So they were doing the firing of the clay tablets to transport them.
Oh.
So they were doing it on purpose. I guess.
Oh, maybe then it was.
It also could have happened.
Oh, sorry. Maybe what I'm remembering is the reason they had such a central trove of them is because they were all in the basement of library or palace or whatever. That burnt down and collapsed on top of it, and so they were all just sort of like there. They survived the fire because they were clay, but they were just all in this one big trove, untouched because they burned down the thing and it landed on top of it and was just like there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
To have a further conversation with Ada Baxter, I'd have to know more about the thing I was talking about, and it would appear that I don't. Anyways, in my seer is the fact that the clay got fired. Oh, so hang on, wait. In my seer, it is the fact. So hang on, hang on.
Yeah, which one? So Uruk, they did it on purpose, and Mycenae. I never know how to say that.
So is the thing I remember about them getting fired because of this thing, but true, but just for one particular? Because I didn't name which one it was. I just assumed it was the one that people were talking about. Ali Baxter, I need a further explanation. I must know my. So is that the case in one place? Pescaz, I'm too tired to explain this. Ali Baxter, explain. Yes. Okay. It did happen somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just as long as I know that in some way I was sort of correct a bit.
Oh, why are you always running on backup power? Just stop running out of power.
Just stop running out of power if you wouldn't mind.
It's because they're trying to use all the refineries at the same time, and
that's because we wanted to refine loads of things simultaneously. And why are you trying to stop us?
The metal refinery and the assembler and the ore processor all at the same time. And
I suppose my question is, why are you an enemy of progress, Sam? I suppose.
Why do they hate?
My question.
It's not me. It's these little fuckers. They hate progress and they hate eating their space potatoes.
Space potatoes.
Space potatoes.
I love my curvy space potato wife.
If you had an alien wife, you could be like, "What is this thing you call kissing?" And she's like, "I know what that is. Like, our cultures have been interacting for hundreds of years.
It's not a difficult concept.
What is this you call love. She's like, I can't talk to you when you're being like this.
You're really annoying. I know I know what that is, and you know what that is. So what you're saying to me is I'm a prick and I'm trying to irritate you.
Tell me about your home planet, gentle, simple alien.
Experience called anger. I'm gonna hit you. A warlike peoples. Fuck off. So no penguins. I should make potatoes for dinner tonight.
Would it be turnips since potatoes don't happen until the Columbian Exchange? Wait, what? I've missed something important.
What?
I started reading a conversation halfway through.
Oh, don't do that. I've never done that because I know it's a bad idea, so I avoid it and have never done it. And so the fact that you've done it is actually quite shameful, and you should be ashamed. This isn't going to be big enough, is it? No, fine. Well, I will use that for something else.
Scraphouse says that's how you get an alien ex-wife. Yep.
Yeah. Trying to make this the sort of like workshop district.
Mind your own business. I got a mind your own business from chat. Nothing concerns you is over here.
No,
sir.
This isn't. Sorry, Sam. You would seem to be under the impression that this is for you. It is in fact not for you.
Not for you, Sunshine. Look at your game. Look at your little space people.
Look at your silly little games.
Piss off. Unless we do want you to read chat, and then we're going to get mad. Right, Ali Baxter says.
Fucking rude.
Okay, so the records we have from Uruk are largely administrative and tend to be found in trash heaps. And the ones from Mycenae are also largely administrative, but their survival is mostly... Sorry, I keep scrolling. Is mostly from the very end of that period because they were fired by the burning down of the palaces.
Okay,
which is why we know fuck all about Mycenae
except
and
like
Uruk
admin.
outside of their admin and some gods. So they were like, this much grain is in this place and the gods are angry.
Because that's the kind of thing you'd write down. Like you wouldn't write down. Yeah, because I seem to remember there's one, and this might be Mycenae, why we know a weirdly large amount about sort of day-to-day life, but only the day-to-day life of the king, because the king was very kind of like anxious and unconfident and was constantly writing to...
Insecure king.
I know, right? It's new. It's a new thing we're working on. And was basically constantly writing about, like, did I make the right decision? How do the predictions seem? The horoscopes, do they seem to agree with what I did? Should I do that? Should I come back? Should I stop? And obviously that was official royal communication, so you've got a weirdly sort of intimate portrait of a panicking man, but only because that panicking man was the ruler of a civilization. Yeah. Just fun. Book about read the chat. We want you read the chat. We want you to read, not the rest. What's not clicking? What's not happening there? Edward's Catposm. Also, you could be all like, I can't take out the trash, the environment. Oh, hang on. Sorry, no, this is another one of the middle of a conversation.
Is this about the
I thought it was about trash
alien
heaps.
wife? This might be alien wife. Also,
alien
you
wife
could be all, I can't take out the trash. The environment out there is toxic to my race. And she lectures you on pretending. Yeah, if you were doing weaponized, sort of exo weaponized incompetence, Xeno weaponized incompetence. In Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
I love Star Trek, but Jesus Christ, they sort of hint at there being different needs for different races. Sometimes, like there's some. I think the Bolians have to have breathing apparatus. They can't breathe the oxygen atmosphere, and like there's one character who's in one episode of Deep Space Nine who comes from a planet with very low gravity, so she has to have a wheelchair or a walking frame. She has like a prosthetic walking frame, and they sort of make a kind of well-intentioned but ham-fisted late 90s attempt at disability awareness.
That doesn't sound like Star Trek, like having a slightly misguided go at a social issue.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem like their entire thing for the entire history of their program.
They did. It was it wasn't like hateful, but it was anyway. and then they mention there's a character in Deep Space Nine who never appears, but they mention that he has like he's laid eggs again. He has produced more hatchlings,
Yes.
and people are like, occasionally their job is to babysit the hatchlings and things like that. But you never really see them, so it's sort of hinting at this more interesting world, but never
But they haven't
really
got the budget
exposing
for,
it.
basically.
You haven't got the budget for
Or
it. Yeah,
we
exactly.
can't do the costume, so it's not happening.
Yeah. So,
I-
yeah, they
I'm
do that a lot.
Vaguely becoming interested in Star Trek. Don't worry, not enough to watch any of it. But I've started listening to a podcast called Greatest Generation, which has been going for a very long time, I think. But I just never. I've been aware of it, but I never listened to it because I don't care about Star Trek. But I had some sort of long, boring jobs to do, so I thought I'd give it a go. And yeah, I very much like the idea of Star Trek, in that it's trying to do sort of basically almost like soap opera-y kind of plot lines
Yeah.
in and around, sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I imagine most of that is, again, budgetary, in that it's difficult. You can't do space battles every week because they're expensive, so sometimes we need to have a courtroom drama. And sometimes they're the worst horse shit you've ever seen. And then every now and again they'll accidentally write something really, really good, and then it'll be, like, shown in law schools because of Patrick Stewart doing a good job of presenting a court argument. They're like, right, so if you want to know how to get a jury on your side when you're not dealing in hard facts, watch Patrick Stewart in this episode of Star Trek. And I quite like that. I like that kind of like.
And there is some of that, and then there's
Deep
Deep Space Nine.
So go on,
Has, go on.
Well,
Deep Space Nine has like the best episodes of Star Trek,
yeah.
and then some of the worst episodes of television.
Yeah.
Like there's one where it's basically a spy, like a spy drama episode where they fake a holo recording of the Cardassians planning an invasion of Romulus to get the Romulans. The Cardassians, I'm afraid, not Kardashians. Yeah, the plan. So they fake it, and then people
so
get
it's
in
more
over
like
their head.
Star Trek Deep Fake Nine. Am I right? Sorry.
Oh,
continue.
nice.
So I continue.
They exactly do a deep fake. That's exactly what they do. And they Garrick, who's an ex-spy, kills some people who basically cleans up after the mess.
Yeah.
And so the captain is kind of an accessory to murder, but for to win the war and things. And it's a really good episode. And then there's one where Quark dresses up as a woman to trick someone into getting him an inheritance, and has to pretend to be a woman.
Excellent.
And it's like good.
Because the thing about that is funny is that in this he's a man.
He's a man, but
get this. Wait,
do you
shut
see?
up. And I know you're not going to believe this. As a lady.
Yeah.
There's a
Horrendous.
So the one that the Greatest Generation, they're on Next Generation, which is called the Greatest Generation. Is that the first one after the original series?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing that, and there's so much like late 80s attempts at progressivism, and sometimes and then there's like an episode where the thing about this is ladies be shopping. So the thing about this is there's a lady character, and she's bought loads of luggage onto the Enterprise.
Oh,
so much.
So funny.
And guess what, Sam?
Yeah.
She's also horny for Patrick Stewart. Oh, and it's there's a whole episode about Patrick Stewart goes onto the holodeck to hide from a lady who's too horny.
Yeah, that'll be Loxana Troy.
Loxana Troy.
Deanna Troy's mother, presumably. Yeah, she's horny whenever she's so horny, right? Cause she's a Betazoid. So
I thought that's what you were, Sam. Sorry, Sam. That's what I thought you were.
No, I'm a beta cuck, not a Betazoid. The Betazoids have they call it empathic powers, so they can read people's emotions. Which usually translates to somebody screaming at the top of their lungs, and they'll be like, "I think they're angry."
I can read minds. Can you tell?
But they also seem to have. They sort of hint I don't know if they're just not consistent with it. But anyway, she has like a neurological condition, and her horniness gets psychically transmitted to everyone else on the crew, so everyone gets very horny. Deep Space Nine, and like Jake falls in love with Jake, who's a teenager, falls in love with Major Kira, who's an adult, and
Right.
luckily all of the attractions are heterosexual, so it's
Oh, thank
fine.
goodness. I was
But,
worried.
you know. So thank goodness we don't have to worry. There is one lesbian love story in Deep Space Nine, and
Does
it was
it end
incredibly
does it
groundbreaking.
end in tragedy because of a Kira Gates
Basically,
problem?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey,
Not deaths, but they just have to agree to just never see each other again. Basically.
fucking hell.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to catch up on the chat, and people are saying boys and guys. Ali Bax is interested in Ixana Troy, the conversation, and then Vay Coffee Cup wants us to shut up, and does cosplay saying that that's basically the truth that everybody holds, but is too afraid to say that we should shut up. Enrich Cat Possum. There was an episode of the original Star Trek where these aliens with superpowers raised a human kid who was stranded on their planet as a teenager. Then gave him back, but they gave him superpowers, and he's horny for a lady crew member.
Yeah.
And also, isn't there in because again I'm quite early, like Wesley Crusher, young Wesley Crusher, the boy.
That little
My son.
piss stain.
He like gets magic powers from the Traveler, and then they just sort of don't really talk about that. And he has loads of situations where magic powers would be quite interesting and useful, and they just don't go. And I imagine that's because somebody wrote that episode. They were like, "Yeah, that's interesting," and then in the next writing session, they were like, "Doesn't that break every story that we could possibly write?" Then, and they're like, "Oh, well, in which case we'll just pretend it's not a thing."
Yeah, there's like the Traveler guy who can transmute thought into reality or something,
Which is a big power.
which seems like a big deal. And Wesley Crusher has the secret sauce to do that as well. And then they're like, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah, we'll bring this up later, maybe. Don't worry about it.
Ali Baxter says, and the lesbian love story is because that's that character's wife from when she was a man. Yes, exactly. So so basically it was a pre-existing heterosexual relationship because the Dax, the Trill people, some of them get implanted with a symbiote, so they have like multiple lifetimes worth of memories. So it's sort of a lesbian story. So you get to see some ladies kissing, but it's not like too gay, you know.
No.
It's not scary.
No, it's
real, like a real relationship.
Yeah, it's gay, but like we can explain it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yes, Karen. I think it was Q. Yeah, it was a Q thing. I think Andrew Captain. The thing is, Wesley Crusher was very unpopular, so they wrote him out. Ali Baxter, and then Wesley only uses them when they needed to write him out because Will Wheaton wanted to leave to do other things, which I think is fine. Fox Club Pal, what the fuck is happening? We are talking about Star Trek plot lines, and I have not seen a single episode of Star Trek. Not one. But I've heard other people talk about them.
Mainly, me. Star Trek being insane.
You and a podcast.
What did I say, Fake Coffee Cup? What did I do?
I think it was because you were exposing the only acceptable form of television lesbian.
Yeah, right.
In the mid-'80s.
I love Star Trek, but it is very insane.
Fake Coffee Cup. You know what? I'm going to bed. Godspeed. I think that's for the best, Fake. I think that's for the best.
Yeah.
I don't think you're in a good place to deal with the level of waffly bullshit that we are handing out tonight, which is fair enough. It's loose. Obsessed, I'm with Tim. I've never seen a single episode. And again, I like really sort of like stripped down. We haven't got money, so we're going to have to do weird stuff. This is basically a play kind of program.
Every episode is a bottle episode. Yeah,
exactly. I quite like that. But I think Star Trek kind of wavers between that and just not quite landing the plane.
And also
true. Oh, Veresima has a very good point. Lies, Tim, you have in the past admitted to having seen season 1 of Lower Decks, which, although a cartoon is canonical Star Trek, that is very true. I've actually watched a few seasons of it. I really quite enjoy Lower Decks. Sorry, live action Star Trek.
Yeah.
Andrew Cassom, so you like classic 80s Doctor Who then, Tim? No. Never watched any classic Who. I watched some Eccleston and some Tennant because that's when I was like a 12 to 18 years old.
A little bouncing baby
A little
boy.
bouncing baby boy.
I've got my Pokemon and I'm gonna watch Star Trek.
Yeah, so I watched Doctor Who then, but I went back. I thought, oh, maybe I'll watch the first episode and see what it's like.
Sure.
And what it's like is weird, very strange.
Yeah.
And I quite like who was the first guy?
Oh, John Scarf.
He looks like the guy who ends up playing fucking Filch.
Filch.
Oh God, William Hartnell. There we go. Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
John Pertwee. I think it's William Hartnell, the very, very first one. And he's just a very severe man. He's just a frightening, severe man. He's just unpleasant and quite, like, harsh. And I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, Hartnell.
But no, I didn't really gravitate towards it. I quite like the Twilight Zone, but again, the Twilight Zone's very much like that. Of like, some episodes are amazing, and then other episodes are the worst shit you've ever seen because you're just trying stuff, and there's no budget. Bonzo Jem, a very serious
All
man
of
who
those.
knows everything. And you clap on him. The first Doctor kidnaps his companions to prove that he can time travel.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Ah.
a fun thing to do.
When is harvest time? September. And he's an arsehole about it. Things I kind of quite like that. I prefer it when they're like, "Hey, look at this unpleasant man. He's unpleasant."
An immortal time traveler is unlikely to be a pleasant person
You're going to
be
get
around.
pretty blasé about the lives and rights of other people who, in your view, are
Yeah.
kind of
You are
transitory sort of irritations. Right, so
I stopped watching Doctor Who because there was about 5 episodes in a row where he went back to Earth, and it was some product like a soft drink or earbuds or a phone or something that was mind controlling everyone, and then he gave a big speech about how good humanity was, and then the alien went, "Yeah, good point. Actually, I will stop mind controlling everyone."
it's actually
And that was the
fair
end of the
dues.
episode. Yeah, and I went,
Because
"I'm out.
I thought
I'm
you
done."
saying to me that you liked it, but then it became woke. I thought that was the reason that you stopped watching it. That's what you told me.
It was just too.
You said not. I
the
think
problem-
the phrase was "not my Doctor Who."
My Doctor Who is a bastion of conservative values.
Yes.
And sort of a kind of screaming, a screaming return to the old, what I call a family values,
That
which
was the
just
phrase,
means my
yeah.
values.
He
Yeah.
loves family values.
Oh, family values.
And you just got some screaming gammon Doctor Who. And he keeps on going on about how his post box is blue like it should be in the old days.
Yeah.
And you're like, but the post box isn't
Trash.
that blue. I suppose I just expand the housing. I've got enough food. The harvest will be coming in soon. The harvest, Sam. I do look
The
forward to
harvest?
the harvest.
I'll tell you when the harvest is.
Yeah.
It's any time you want, eh? When I'm around. Does that make sense?
No, don't you? Is it a sex?
Is that
As in the harvest is like sex?
Do you want-
Is that?
Do you want me to? Do you want to hear an unpleasant insight into my brain?
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
Do you want to hear that? Right. So I've been listening to an unhealthy amount of 3-bean salad.
This is my fault.
Basically,
isn't it?
just yeah, it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I pushed it on.
So
you. I'm a pusher.
I started. So I was like listening to loads of 3-bean salad, and then I sort of went off it all of a sudden, and sort of I got this kind of anxiety about listening. I sort of felt I should be listening to it, but I didn't want to be listening to it because Henry Packer was like annoying me.
Mhm. That's his
And
role.
I
yeah.
thought a little bit. Yeah, I thought a little bit more about what it, and I'm like, oh, he's just always doing a bit. He's just like he's always got a bit going. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you do, Samuel.
Sam, have you done that thing where you've identified something that you do in another person and become irrationally
mean-
irritated by it
Yeah. Do you mean the bit? Do you mean what you do?
because he's held
And-
up a mirror?
Yeah. And then I liked it again, and now I'm listening to it.
But you are right. You can sometimes hear him just being like, "What? This could be." I'm just going to keep on talking until a bit emerges.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Just keep going until until the emergent property of the bit comes
Wherever the
out.
bit comes from. Yeah, exactly. So
But then he does,
Yeah,
does
that
tell a
was-
great story about a load of plates falling off a wall, which is good
yes,
stuff.
the plates, that was good. The 45-minute anecdote about buying a birthday card for his niece
There is
in
no
central London.
punchline. There is no point, but it's some good audio.
It's marvelous.
Hang on, the people. So Enriched Cat Possum is quite cross. 3 Bean Salad like the food. Sam, you're listening to food. So three Bean Salad is a podcast containing the 3 beans, and the 3 beans are Mike Wozniak, Henry Packer, and Benjamin Partridge. They are men, not beans. No, 3, not free.
3, yeah. There's probably a little bit of my London accent slipping through.
I was quite old when I learnt to say 3 with a TH.
Yeah, me too. I got
Yeah.
picked on when I worked at the pub
Yeah.
to the point where I started saying it properly. Yeah.
I got picked on by my dad. He's like, "What?"
No.
I said, "Yeah, I think there's 3 of them." And he's like, "What? 3 of them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, 3 of them." He's like, "No. 3." And I was like, "Yeah, 3." And he was like, "No."
I always think of your dad. I think
Incorrect.
I've only very briefly come into contact with your dad. Doesn't he have an accent though?
Yeah, he sounds like the child of
He's like-
2 red London bricks. Like he is.
He's like he's a geezer.
He's a
Or
bit of a geezer. He's got. Well,
he's
he's not.
geezer adjacent.
He's not geezer in himself, but he's got geezer properties because of his
Yeah.
South London
Yeah, yeah.
upbringing. So yeah, he sounds like a bricklayer, and a plumber, just all rolled into one. Yeah,
Brick
and once he pointed out I was doing it wrong as a child, I was like, it is very important I now get this right, and so I just spent
Yeah.
some weeks practicing. Fox about Tim, say 3 and free again. Things I've got a bit of a lisp anyway, so it's not clear, but 3 as in like tongue through the teeth, or free with an F, free. It's not a huge difference in sound, but it is there. I can't remember what. There'll be some name in phonics or phonics, in phonics for the different ways of
3
making that
thick
sound.
things. My head of house, Mr. Payton,
thick
used to
things.
make me say whenever I was frequently in his office for having been thrown out of a class.
Frequently.
Frequently it was.
Basically, the title of 2 red London bricks sure is a description, but I get it. I was going to be more florid and indeed more disgusting in that in that saying, but I bailed out, so it just ended up as 2 London bricks. There was going to be more graphic stuff, but I felt nobody had done anything bad enough to deserve it. Coward. I've had a weird week. Hey Sam, do you want to know I've had a weird week?
Yeah, go on.
It
Tell me about your
involved
weird week.
A&E. I had a lovely A&E
Oh,
visit.
shit.
Yeah. So I, you know what?
Chopped your head off.
Let's make. Yeah, I could chop my head right off. I am one Cockney and one home counties gal, and so I have a very strange mix of middle and very working class London accents that come out depending on how tired I am. I know I'm fine now. So I have been doing my titrations. We'll make this a PSA. So currently I'm taking Amphexer, which is a dexamphetamine. I think Amphexer is branding. And it was like fine, but not helping. So I was like, meh. But I'm like 3 weeks into
Sure.
a 4-week course, so we'll see it out. And Cat Possum, me too. Woo! So, the only thing I found it does do, it means I get distracted, but I get distracted and just do one thing for ages, which is not what I'm looking for out of medication, because that's just a different problem rather than helping me with the issue at hand. And because it did that, I just don't think I ate regularly or properly.
Oh shit.
And I am speculating here about why this all went weird and wrong. Exactly, and obsessed, productive at the wrong thing. So I think I was eating a bit wrong, and then I had the next dose, and I was a bit weird with the timings, but like, within an hour or two, and they're not specific about the timings, they just say three times throughout the day, and I started to feel really weird. My arms felt weird, and then my vision was a bit weird, and then my hands started to sort of go patchy and like grey, and I was like, well, that's not right.
No.
Very much like Raynaud's syndrome, if everyone knows Raynaud's, which happens to people. They can react it's almost like you're reacting in an allergic way to the cold, but it wasn't cold. So I was like, what the fuck's going on? My hands and feet went really, really cold. And I was like, I'll check my blood pressure. Much higher than it should be. Much weirdly and much more weird and high.
Yeah.
And I wasn't obsessed. It wasn't withdrawal because I had taken the drugs. And it wouldn't have kicked in that fast. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I've never had anything like this before. This is almost certainly the drugs. So I'm just going to chill out, make sure I eat some food and go to bed. And then I couldn't sleep because it would just dump adrenaline into my system every 3 minutes. So I'd sort of fade away and then just get this huge dump of adrenaline, and it was just going on and on and on. I was like, okay, so this is probably something to do with meds. It's probably something to do with meds. But if it's not something to do with meds, it's also got some of the hallmarks of you are experiencing a mild heart attack. These are all the same, like tightness across the chest, bad circulation, dumps of adrenaline, feelings of doom, weird blood pressure. My heart rate was going 40, 140, 60, 160. Like, it was just going up and down, up and down, down. It was it weren't happy. So I was like, oh, there. So in the end, after one of the worst nights of sleep I've ever had, I went to work and I was like, this is still weird, and A&E's really close, and it would be a very stupid way to die if I didn't go to A&E to check on this thing that feels like it might be really serious, because I was a bit embarrassed. And also I called 111 at 2 a.m, and they were like, you should definitely see someone. And I was like, okay, what should I do? And they're like, we'll get a clinician to call you back. Reader, they still haven't called me back. It's been 2 days.
Nah.
I think they're not calling me back. So I went there, and the guy was like, why did you come here? And I was like, because they told me to. They said I need to see someone. They haven't called back. I still feel really weird. I'm worried that I'm dying. So I just thought I'd come here and see. And they're like, well, it's probably fine. And then they sort of did it and went, okay, that is a bit weird, but not so weird that I feel comfortable in just sending you home. So go get an EKG. And I got an EKG, and it was all fine. And I've started to tell them to reduce the amount on these meds, and it's they don't agree with me. So it was that, but it was just such a weird sort of fucking weird 24 hours.
Right.
Just a weird 24 hours of
I love how I phoned 111 because I couldn't hear out of my ear because I had too much earwax, and they phoned me back within 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you were like, I've got weird feeling in my chest, and they're like, he'll be alright.
Based on what information? On how much you want to get me off the phone? Is that?
Nah, he's fine.
Obsessed. Yeah, I was treated by a great medical. To be fair, I was triaged by a tired medical professional. He did the things and was like, right, you go and see that person. They'll check nothing's actually wrong. Then go and see the GP. And they got me through. I went into A&E and was out in an hour and a half, which is fucking unheard of. Image Cat Possum. Okay, Tim, can I ask immediate or slow release? This is the immediate stuff. This one.
Yeah, me too. I can't.
Yeah.
The slow release didn't do shit. That was useless.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, because this is the last one that they really suggest, I think I might not bother. The benefits are potentially marginal to undetectable, and they're a pain in the ass to keep using. So I think I might just not bother, because I don't think they're...
I had a really short visit to A&E. The trigger warning for a small bleeding injury. I cut my finger and it wouldn't stop bleeding.
Sorry, this is a Cockney thing. A small bleeding injury.
Bleeding injury it was. Expression. And I was in and out within an hour. Nice. But I think if you're bleeding, they're like, that seemed like an issue. And I got one butterfly stitch, and they were like, leave
out. Enwich Cat Possum. Sorry, Tim, it works great for me. No, to be honest, don't be sorry. I'm glad it works for you for a start. It's probably good that I'm now in a situation where, because when I started the whole process of trying to take medication, I was in a job in a situation where I needed it, and now I'm in a job in a situation where I don't think I do. So ultimately, it's kind of a good thing that I'm in a position where I'm like, the side effects of these are not worth the benefits, because it's not impacting my life badly enough for me to need to put up with anything else. So it's ultimately kind of a good thing, because if I was like struggling to do day-to-day stuff, then having a weird blood pressure thing would be like, well, that's the price you pay. But I can be like, you know what, not worth it. So it's nothing to be sad about. In fact, it's probably quite a good thing. Elivax, I'm jealous of anyone on ADHD meds. Yeah, and like if I took it and it was night and day.
Yeah,
then
because I get when they were trying to find the right dose for me on methylphenidate. One day I sharpened all of the knives in the kitchen in a single go, and I've now got very nice sharp knives, which is great. But
it also does sound like a threat.
Yeah, I just went. Oh, I think I'll start sharpen. I'll sharpen a knife. I'll get one nice and good, and then 3 hours later, I've done the lot.
Yeah.
Which is.
Do you remember the middle of it?
No, not really. No. No. So something that was a little high. So
yeah,
came down a little bit from that, and pretty good.
Yeah, and you know what? Mine has never been hyperactivity and then like huge crash. Like if I really need to do something, I can generally just get myself to do it. My stuff is like memory and recall, and the drugs don't help with it. Like my memory has changed not a little bit, because I think like all these things.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, the good thing is that, like, I'm sure ADHD is part of it. But like most things, this is a number of conditions all dressed up in a trench coat.
Yeah. Is it worth looking into? Because you got dyslexia diagnosis at school, right?
Yeah.
Did they test you for dyspraxia as well?
No.
That might be.
Do they do something if you've got it?
I don't know, but it's helped I've had. I think my ex got her diagnosis for dyspraxia, and that really helped because she got some help at university when she was there. So actually, when you're already in a job, it might not make any difference whatsoever. Just be like,
no, my hand-eye coordination. Dyspraxia is probably not as simple as just hand-eye coordination, but
it's like it's memory management and stuff as well.
Then yeah, definitely.
And task management.
Yeah, I just thought that counted. I just thought that was under dyslexia. Then yes. Look, I'm not a medical professional, but if you meet me for 8 seconds, you will know that my management of memory and tasks is kind of the main problem.
Yeah, collect all the neurospicy badges, says Verasma.
Yeah, collect them up. Get them done. You know what? It would feel less of a fucking chore if they did give me I fucking loved Scout badges. Sweet Christ, I love Scout badges.
Yeah.
I hated the Scouts, but I love those badges.
You can just buy the badges.
Yeah, they think you're a creep.
Oh.
Buy them online. It sounds worse, but you don't have to deal with anyone. What are you buying online? Scout badges? Why? Just like them. Okay, well, I'm calling the police. I don't know why or what for, but I feel they need to be informed about you.
Yeah. Hey, chat. If I've got a normal distribution and I've got the mu and I'm inputting the mu and the sigma for that normal distribution.
Yeah, chat, come on.
How do I know what the extents are of the output?
I obviously know this, but I just want to let chat have a go and see if they can get it right. Andrew Catposm, I have fine motor dyspraxia and it's a bitch. My handwriting looks like shit and I can't put on my eyeliner. I have always really... My handwriting, if I'm like looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Okay, yeah, okay, this is working. What's happening to my hand? Why are the letters like that? Why none of the shapes? Why can I not do 2 letters the same size? Oh, it's now illegible. And it's just always be like, I can only do it if I'm completely not thinking about it. I can just about do decent handwriting. But if I at all consider what I'm doing at any point, it doesn't work. KDB, Tim, you can collect vintage Scout badges from eBay. That's not creepy, I promise. I suppose if they're vintage, you can start to justify them.
What game was I playing? Oh, that Atomfall game has all of the skill tree as little Scout badges.
Oh, nice.
It's very nice. I didn't particularly care for the game in general, but the presentation was.
That's what I've heard about it. Fun vibes. game itself. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Fine. Obsessed. It's been nice, but I really need to go to sleep now. Good night, chat and boys. Not bogs, like my keyboard wanted to say. Or hogs. Night, Obsessed. LPW still love when my neuro psych test said likely ADHD, and I mentioned at the dinner, and my brother was just like, yeah, you didn't know? You didn't know? We all knew. Image Kappa, my handwriting is big and scrabbly all the time. Makes me feel like a drunk preschooler. Night, Bogs. The Bogs and Swamps, the two genders. Obsessed, thank you. Okay, I'm going. Night, Obsessed. What the pissing fuck am I doing? Seems to be the refrain for whenever I'm playing this game. Next month, it's harvest time. I just need to remember to make some of my people farmers. Oh, actually, I've got enough spares. Kill the spares. I'm going to add a ploughing station. Am I right? That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she
at the farmstead.
That's what she farmstead. Am I right, lads, boys, gents? Right. So I have unlocked rye fertility. Some rye fertility. I hate myself and I want myself to stop. So if I join up those and use that as sort of a angle to run off of. So as I understand it, with this game, they want big, long, straight fields so that the oxen can plough them easily. Because if you make fun shapes, the oxen are really bad at it because the pathing is crap. And so they just go into the corners and go, They don't just sort of pick the long edge. They sort of have an absolute grid they work on.
Okay.
I need to make the fields proper. Right, oh yeah. A bigger field. Of a larger amount of more
Bigger
game.
Britain.
A better, larger, heftier Britain. New hefty Britain. Shiny Happy Goth, don't annoy your oxen. I would never dare annoy my oxen. Oh my god, where have my oxen gone? They've left me because I annoyed them! Oh god! Oh no! Right, so crop rotation. So let's go fallow this year, rye next year, and then you can do rye, but not on that year, on that year. And we shall rotate them fields. But unfortunately in this land, Sam, and I know you're sad about this, I haven't got the right fertility to grow barley. Ah.
How much is it different to wheat? In real life, I have no idea. My farming experience.
Don't believe. Someone please do correct me about this. I'm sure there are certain kinds of crops where the right conditions for one are not the right conditions for the other in terms of weather and heat and certain things about soil composition. But I don't believe it'll be the case that they'll be well, this field is full of minerals, but only the minerals for wheat. And if you try and grow flax here, the minerals are wrong for flax. I'm sure there will be something around, well, this plant is a bit better here, but I don't think it's oh no, barley won't grow in this field.
Simply will not grow there.
But wheat will grow here. Does anybody know about plants?
Is Jethro Tull in the chat?
Is inventor of the seed drill Jethro Tull in the chat?
Or the prog rock group?
Yes. Either. If anybody can either talk to us about seeds or play the drum solo from Aqualung, we will accept both.
Is that an actual... Have you just named a Jethro Tull song?
Yes, Aqualung. Please double check that is a Jethro Tull song. Pezzicaris, I wasn't listening. What did you ask? Is it the case... Because basically in this game it's wheat will grow in this field, but barley won't because the fertility is wrong. And I don't believe that is actually how this would work. In that, yes, different soils would probably help different crops. But if it can grow sort of like, if they can both grow here because the temperature is right and the rainfall is enough, so on and so forth, there will be some crops that deal better with weak soil, I'm sure, because they need less. But it won't be like, well, they'll grow or they'll grow. It'll be like, well, they can grow here because the fertility is weak, but it's good enough for this. But if it was good enough for this, then it would be all right for the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it would be like this can grow, or this and this can grow, because this is a hardier plant. But it wouldn't be a case like this could grow or this could grow, because if it's a fertile soil, then
Right.
Yeah, rotate the crops, sure, because they'll like drop different things. Oh, hang on a minute, yeah, but rotate, yeah, because they will draw different things specifically from the soil, but it's not like the soil only has this or only has that. You rotate it because they want different things. Vesma, Tim, read my thing. Yeah, all crops can deplete soil, including grains, which is why before decent fertilizer they used crop rotation. Yeah, but what I'm saying is the soil would start with a large mix of stuff because you're in the right broadly geological region, but it wouldn't be like this bit here will do it and that bit there won't. Like you'd rotate it because they are going to draw different things from the soil, but those things are all broadly going to be present. You're rarely going to have like a patch of land where there's only one kind of... I don't know.
Who knows? Amy's dad might know.
Amy's dad probably does know. Andrew Catpossum, turn the beat around and rotate that root veg. Hey guys, no, it's great when the beet drops because it means it's harvest season and we can feed our cattle. It's not like you're trying to grow avocados. Yeah. Because there are some things like, rice. Rice needs a very specific place to grow. A flooded field, for example. But they'll all grow with nitrates. It's all just nitrates. Send the Penguins, text Amy's dad then. But that means I'll have to wait a week and a half for the answer because he does not read his phone. He puts his phone in a drawer. It's mad. Folkapath wet. Thank you. What do rice need? Wet. Shiny Happy God. Oh, somebody did confirm that Aqualung was a Jethro Tull song. Shiny Happy God. The first time I brought a Jethro Tull album, I'd heard a couple of songs before and liked them, so I figured I'd get a used CD. So I picked up Songs from the Wood because I liked the cover art, popped it in my Discman, started listening to the first track and was like, wait, this is a madrigal. I like it, but what the heck? Bass comes in at the end of the second verse. Ah, a rock madrigal. Nifty. Yeah. Andrew Catpossum, Amy's dad and my stepdad. Both farmers, or both people who put their phones in drawers at the end of the day. But yes, different soil will have different starting points because of the environment. Yes, but I would have thought that would be like, the soil on this side of the country is better at this, the soil on that side of the country is better than that. Not, is it, if we look at this, oh, well, the soil here is good for this. Is good for this, but over here, so no, it's bad for this, and then no, it's no,
If we had a one big field and we divided it into 6, could we get away with this is barley, this is wheat, this is flax? Is that?
Yeah.
Or is it more complicated than that?
I mean, the answer, Sam, is almost certainly yes, because everything is more
certainly
complicated.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's very complicated. Oh, hang on. The beast is feeding 71 penguins. This fucking cat. Yes. What? I am eating the kibble. What do you want?
What?
I don't know why I've decided to do a Noel Fielding character. That's like the moon. I've eaten the food.
Oh, the moon.
I've got a round head and I've eaten the food. Thing is, the cat isn't staring at you. The cat is staring just past the top of both of your ears in sort of a cone pattern.
Yeah.
Meow, meow, my cat. Samuel Penguins. She does yell at me until I feed her. Resma, I think wheat just isn't a very picky crop when it comes to soil. Yeah, no, I suppose so. I mean, that's the point of rye in this. Rye is like, I'll grow whatever. I don't care. I'm rye. Haha, I'm rye. Don't worry about me. Hey, ain't nobody ever been hurt by rye. By my bed.
is slutty wheat.
Slutty wheat. Just walking out, growing in any old soil. Should be ashamed of herself.
It is unfair how like weeds with a D get a bad name for like just
They're
being
just good at growing. I suppose weeds with a bad name would get a bad name because they're very good at growing but do not contain enough nutrients to be useful for us in agriculture.
No.
And so stop the plants that we need to grow to not die from growing.
That's true.
But just being in your garden.
Yeah, they're not hurting anyone. Let the weeds live.
And there's also things that are designated as weeds where what we mean by weed is it's a plant I don't want, not that it's actually a plant that's any particularly better at growing than any other plant. It's just, oh, I don't like it.
I don't like the weeds.
End of which capitalism. Yes, if you're growing in a sidewalk crack, then you kick ass.
Get rid of that. I don't need that anymore.
Lots of weeds here are edible, actually. But I imagine much like mushrooms, you really need to know what you're doing because one sort of edible flower is great, and then another flower is edible but only the
like
once.
Another... Yeah.
Or, not deadly, but will make you shit yourself until you wished you were dead, which is also an option.
Make you shit yourself until people are writing articles in medical journals about you.
Yeah.
Which is
And
the
like,
kind
there's
of
actually
fame that you want.
some medical breakthroughs based on what happened to you. And they're like, well, that's great. Could they have happened to someone else, though? You never want a doctor to say, that's interesting. Huh. That's really... It's like, no, could it be boring, please? Could it be boring and therefore like quite settled science that means you can just give me a thing and this is done. I've never seen that before. Oh, good. Well, bully for me.
Chicory and dandelion is yummy if you like bitter greens. Yep. I mean, sure.
These things are nice if you like bad things.
Oh, there was such a good... the latest... That was that practical engineering channel about digging holes at the beach.
I'm Grady for Practical Engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About how many people die every year from digging holes at the beach.
Yeah, like it's famously dangerous to dig in sand. Like it's it's... I haven't watched that one yet, but I saw the thumbnail. I was like, well, yeah, because it's sand.
It's sand.
So,
it holds together until it suddenly doesn't.
Like that's the kind of thing. You know when they say don't build on sand? It's because of this. It's because of this thing that it does, where it's fine. And then it's not, and then you're dead. Enrich Capitalism, Tim, you drink Negronis and they're bitter as fuck. Yeah, well, it's a good point, and I apologise. So, someone looks pretty foolish. Speaking of practical engineering, I sort of harassed you into listening to 3 Bean Salad, and you liked that. Have you also had a look at Technology Connections since I harassed you about that?
Yes,
what did you
did.
Think,
yeah. I really like that. I really like the channel. I watched their one about, I think, the original PlayStation copyright protection.
Oh, yeah.
And how stupid and mad it was.
So
it was like, the 4 letters for Sony Computer Entertainment Japan is encoded on this sector on the disc before the normal read section, and that's the copyright protection.
Because that's all we can fucking manage.
That's all we can do, and for some reason, it works.
Yeah. I suppose that would be, I think, security by obscurity, which is a terrible way of doing security. But if what you want to do is make it just difficult enough that people are like, I'll just buy a proper game, that is kind of good enough. You know, it's not good enough as like securing information, but it's good enough for like, but I just like it to work, not have to worry about it.
Yeah,
so
I can't really be bothered. It's cheaper just to get on with it.
Slow sand is just as dangerous. Andrew Casman, you'd like bitter green salad greens, I figure. And you know what? I like rocket, and that's a bitter green. I like spinach.
Bit of green, isn't it? It's a bit of green.
It's a bit of green at the end of the day. So
when
what I am is full of shit.
When I worked in the pub, somebody asked for a whiskey and a bitter lemon. The drink bitter lemon.
And you gave them...
I thought they said a bit of lemon.
And when you gave them a bit of lemon, did they punch you right in the face or did they glass you?
No,
instead?
they were very polite with the
sorry, can I have
silly
a bitter lemon?
Bitter lemon. It's because everyone had London accents around there.
Yeah, got a bit of lemon.
Give a bit of lemon.
There is no I'll have a bit of lemon, and I'll have a bit of lemon. There is no
Phonetically, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no detectable difference other than from context and knowing what you're
Yeah.
doing.
I don't think I've ever had bitter lemon.
It's nice.
I don't think I've ever actually drunk it. Is it
It's
just a?
Yeah, it's like the opposite. You know, Sicilian lemon, which is basically like, hey, there's lots of sugar in here. is
Sure.
what- yeah, I'm
Like
sure
a
the
syrup.
actual Sicilian lemonade is a bit different from that, but like as marketed, it's like, hey, lemonade, but strong and full of sugar. It's strong with less sugar, and so it's all just citric
Mhm.
punch to the face. I suspect, Sam, it's one of these sort of like things that came from the war, of like
Mhm.
we can't fruits and fruits are difficult to come by, and it's
Yep.
easier to transport things like juice. Sugar is fucking impossible to come by. So what we've got for you is unsweetened lemon juice. And people are like, I quite like this because humans will like anything if they're forced to
Yep.
eat it for long enough. And then you
Yep.
get things like a bitter lemon drink. And you got some lemonade is Sprite over there. Lemonade, Sprite. Now look,
No,
fucking people.
no, I don't think that is
Sprite
the case.
is lemon and lime.
Yeah.
Now, is that a specific UK thing? Is it maybe just lemon elsewhere? But Sprite is lemon and lime, not lemonade. And I now need somebody to tell me whether or not that's a regional thing, and my anger is unfounded. But we need to get the end to it.
Sprite
And you guys,
drink.
that's why you guys like blackcurrant.
In the USA, lemonade is not carbonated.
No,
so
it
that,
isn't.
so you can get that here. There is such a drink.
Does it have a
Um,
name, or is it just unfizzy lemonade? Like what?
I think,
what's
yeah,
it called?
I don't. What would it be called on a menu? It would be called like homemade lemonade.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It would be called homemade lemonade. Yeah.
Um,
Sprite's lemon and lime. Lemon squash, I suppose. It is
lemon squash. Yeah. So like, there's which restaurant? I think it might be Smot. One of the burger places on Deliveroo has like homemade pink lemonade, and it is delightful. It's refreshing and sweet.
Sam, stop everything. Somebody has arrived at the stream and they want my
Mhm.
opinion on this game because they don't yet realise that this is mostly about summarising Star Trek plot lines that I haven't seen and talking about drinks. But I can answer you. Lego Goat. Thinking about getting this game, being on the fence about it. What is your opinion? It is very good, Lego Goat. I like this game quite a lot. It's early access. It is on Game Pass if you have that, so you don't have to shell out for it. It's a really nice, kind of can be quite chill, villagey builder thing. Lots of atmosphere, lovely graphics. There is a fighty element to it, which I turn off because I don't like the stress of impending war. I just like to tootle around in it, but it is unfinished. So, for example, here's the progression tree. This stuff all locked off, not available. So,
Not done yet.
if that matters to you, wait till the full thing comes out. But if it doesn't, I would give it a go. I like it quite a lot. And now my stocks are getting soaked. Energy Cats from Tim now wants lemonade. I do want lemonade.
I could go for a lemonade right now.
Shiny Happy Goth, if you use a butterfly pea flower infusion, you can make litmus lemonade. Now, how Shiny Goth, is that because the butterfly pea flower is used in the production of litmus paper? Is that what's happened here?
Is that what it is?
Explain yourself. Wow, I can't talk. It's almost like I've had a long day. Okay, cap set up. Time to put the cat food and the treats away before Iris rips into them. The beast
They
is
look
fed.
like a lady's bits fresh. Yeah, nature basically has one way of making an opening, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Nature found out how to make something inside attached to the outside and went, yeah. That'll do.
and it's just like hashtag everything's a vulva. It's like
Yeah.
you orchids vulva.
Vulva, testicle, vulva.
Is it a little bit like how, and again you'll know this from Three Bean Salad, Sam? Everything just gently wants to become a crab.
Yeah, because it's the
Everything's-
perfect organism.
Everything's just always, and for you in chat who didn't know, the crab has evolved independently many times. For example, spiders, also a kind of crab really when you think about it. But that kind of there is a noted thing in archaeobiology.
Carcinification.
Yeah, what's the study of historical I suppose evolutionary science, but there's
Paleobiology, evolutionary biology.
Paleobiology and evolutionary biology is exactly it. But basically, they just keep on discovering different types of crabs and going, hang on a minute, this is independently evolved. This isn't like an offshoot of. This is a new thing that's just crabs again.
New crab just dropped.
New crab just dropped. As Scott Jester says, oops, all crabs. 3 people have answered this question and they've all been ignored. Hang on, what? Oh,
What?
butterfly. Hang on. Shine Happy Goth. The infusion is blue on its own and turns purple or pink when acid is added. Okay, yeah, right. So, and I'm guessing they use that.
Okay.
So it's a natural product that reacts to acids or bases. Is it acids and bases? Or no, it's acids and alkalis. It's acids and alkalis. I can't
Well,
remember what
bases are so all.
Are bases
Hang on,
alkaline?
hang on.
Hang
And
on,
my
hang
GCSE
on.
chemistry is coming
Hang on.
back. All alkalines are bases, but not all bases are alkaline. Now I know that is true, but I
And how does
don't
that-
really know what
how does
that
that
means.
progress? Yeah, how does that progress to Firefly?
So what you said, yeah.
Firefly 23 has resubscribed. They've been subscribed for 40 months. 40 months. I could have had a baby elephant by now, but you didn't have the fucking guts. Lego Goat. Can you have multiple games going at the same time, meaning fighting one and non-fighting session? Yes, you definitely can. You can have different save states. It's very unprecious about that, which is nice. How long will one game take? So this is a good time passy one. So it's a slightly infinite game. So I would suspect you could probably blast through the different development stages to the point that they run out in a couple of hours, but I don't play it like that. I just sort of gently grow things, and then I get to the top development stage, and then I just sort of try and make pretty villages and expand out and sort of get more and more people and try and prevent the economy from falling over when there's too many people. So lots of time. It's a real time sinky one if you want it to be. Yeah, and I like trying to build the villages in ways that aren't necessarily efficient but look more like a real place might, rather than big grids. So Shine Happy Goth, just to acids you need something else to react with the base, presumably. Base. And you catch from Tim, they have a butterfly pea flower gin that actually changes colour.
Nice.
Oh, and Rich Cat Possum has already said that. Yes, when I was ignoring people. I was asking questions and not looking at the answers.
Does it change flavour when it changes colour? Probably not, right?
Probably not. But maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know how that would work. I suppose you could unbind two things and then they would taste different once they're unbound or bound. No, it still tastes like
No, it
gin.
still tastes like gin.
Still
Yeah.
tastes like you're being punched in the face by a mulberry bush. Punched in the face by a mulberry bush. Right, I should recheck how the farming's working. Oh shit! You probably put somebody in the mill, Tim. Otherwise, your grain, it won't turn into flour on its own. It will need to be milled.
Not with that attitude, it won't.
Not with
Unless it
that
starts to
attitude.
pull
Come on,
itself up
everybody.
by its bootstraps.
I think that grains have been for too long
Mollycoddled.
mollycoddled. Sam, mollycoddled was exactly the word I was going for because it's only ever used in this situation for some reason.
Exactly this situation.
Only
yeah.
ever used by terrible people in this exact scenario.
Mollycoddled. Do you mean prevented from dying?
Can you stop
you-
can you stop mollycoddling people by trying to help them?
Do you mean giving them an education to give them a start in life?
Sam, until people
Is that what you mean?
Until people have taken it upon themselves to die,
Mhm.
if you don't let them do that, Sam, they'll never learn.
They'll never
Only
learn.
after
And that's
after
the
they've
worst
died.
thing that can happen. That's the worst thing that could happen. Somebody wouldn't learn a lesson about the value of the pound.
You sound like you have a right-wing podcast, Tim. I am a right-wing podcast. In that I don't make a lot of sense and I lack any kind of consistency. And I'm really willing to stab you in the back at any moment.
I will flip so hard on any issue if there's a buck to be made.
Mainly because I mean you guys had the workhouses. As in me personally.
Like the Victorian. We didn't have workhouses.
I've never owned an operated.
We don't operate workhouses.
I don't
That's an outrageous thing to say.
I don't own G4S. So
Yeah,
I'll run
This is-
I'll run sort of your printing business or your prison for some reason. No, hang on. No, Sodexo. Sodexo's the one who's like, hey, we'll cater events or we'll transport prisoners. We don't mind.
wild.
We don't really
mind. We'll do
mind.
anything. We don't care where the money comes from. Save the children, kill the children. We don't
Sodexo.
care.
If the money spends, whatever, mate. So the other Tim personally has several workhouses. You overestimate. I've also never done anything wrong, and anybody who suggests otherwise is a liberal spy.
I'll tell you where Tim's never been. He's never been to a workhouse.
Yeah.
Never done a day's work in his life. Eh?
Oh god, this guy.
Hey, this guy, eh?
He's always ribbing me. But we have fun, you know?
His hands are smooth as a baby. They are.
Yeah, but that's because I steal the skin of. Actually, because I moisturise. That's why. It's because I moisturise.
Yeah. Moisturise and keep your hands clean like an adult.
Yeah, not because I steal skin. That would be how would that even work? Like, well, you'd have to have like some sort of stem cell lab, which I don't have. So, I don't even know why you fucking brought it up, Sam.
In the proper workhouse. God, that would be insufferable.
Yes, please, sir. Can I scene change? What boy? Sir.
New choice.
Sir, I'm so tired.
New choice.
So I'm really very. That's the same choice. I didn't say
the
paraphrase
same
or rephrase. I said new choice. So I'm not tired at all, and I want to keep going. That's what I thought.
There we go.
Firefly Tim would be the guy that denied Oliver Twist seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Because unless he starves to death, he'll never learn. I don't know what's so confusing.
I hate Tories so much. I hate them. I hate them so much, Tim. I hate them.
Why? What do they do? Oh, because of the things
I
they've
hate
done.
Them.
Because of
I
their
just-
ideological views.
I don't know.
And
The only thing I can
focus
think
on
of.
making sure that all human progress is limited in how many people get to use it.
Exactly, or just limited at all, just so we'd make no progress. I just want to grab them and just scream into their faces that it's good to help people.
Wouldn't it
just
be-
helping
hey,
people for its
would it
own
be-
right is
Hey
good.
Sam, would it be good if more people were able to have a nice and easy life, or would that be apparently the worst thing ever?
I mean, it doesn't even need to be. It doesn't need to be utopia. But what if
No.
everyone just had enough to eat and a safe place to sleep?
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to end the stream because I didn't realise I was streaming with a fucking communist.
What would be the worst thing that would happen if nobody was hungry?
Sam, I don't believe Jesus died so that you could get a free
I don't
ride.
believe Jesus had specifically that exact message.
I don't think Jesus Christ, my Lord and Saviour,
Mhm.
personally, I don't think he died on the cross at the hands of a large imperialist, economically motivated empire.
They'd
just
all
so
do
that
drugs
you-
all the time. Yeah,
So that you could spread a message of what love thy neighbour.
love thy neighbour. I
What
mean,
the fuck is this?
you don't even need to love them. Just make sure they're all right. Same, no DEI. They'd all do drugs all the time. That is an argument that people make. Is like if people didn't have to work, they'd just do drugs all the time. It's like, well, I guess then.
But
I
people,
guess that's.
but people do
just-
have to work, and we still have drug problems. So I don't
Exactly.
See, I don't. Yeah.
And also, drug
No.
abuse is often linked to socioeconomic
yeah.
stability and stress. So if we removed that socioeconomic stability stressor, maybe
Thanks
some
for
of
the
those
update,
problems would go away.
Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Sorry, everyone. I didn't realise he was going to spread his propaganda.
Love a bit of gander.
All of it.
Good enough for the goose. It's good enough for my comrades.
Yeah, and Andrew Cat Possum, that's where I get all the baby skin. Like,
Yep.
if we solved all the problems in the world, then there wouldn't be people willing to sell me the skin of a baby, and I just simply couldn't have that.
Yeah.
By which I mean, I
That would
use
be annoying.
E45.
I find E45 a bit oily.
I find you a bit oily. Sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
no! I'm not hit a nerve.
Sorry, I lashed out.
Didn't
there.
realise. Didn't realise it was such a personal issue.
I'm in the pocket of big aqueous cream. When you're not aware.
Big aqueous, yeah.
Big
Very
aqueous.
well moisturised.
Yeah.
Slithery
Well,
people.
I imagine it depends on your skin type. Because I've got very dry, unoily skin, so I imagine its oiliness is quite
Oh.
helpful. I find it going.
I
Mine
just
goes
find,
well.
yeah, it just doesn't because it works really well. If
Well,
I've
also,
got I've got dry skin, then
yeah.
it does work really well. But it's
So,
sort of
sorry,
also
hang on, Sam. Sorry. Hang on, what you're saying is, Sorry. What you're saying is
No, but it
when
leaves.
shut the fuck up.
No,
So what
no,
you're saying
no,
is,
shut up.
Shut the fuck up. So what you're saying, shut the fuck up. So what you're saying to me is when I have dry skin, this product works
Yeah.
really well. But when I don't have dry skin and therefore
No.
don't need the product, it's not good because it's not going in because it's oily. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
but
to me,
it
Sam?
still leaves like oily. Like my skin feels oily. Either way, both ways, my skin feels like it's oily. So, apology accepted.
Sam, how do you think they're going to get the moisturizer on you? Because it needs to be in.
But I
it
use,
needs to
but
be
when I
with
use the simple stuff, it doesn't leave. It doesn't feel oily. The unscented moisturizer doesn't
I'm
feel
sorry.
oily.
Sorry, everyone. E45, good old-fashioned British E45, isn't good enough for
Yeah.
Sam. He uses non-GMO, organic,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
non-allergen-containing, middle-class, natural, simple creams.
I just need simple.
They're actually
creams.
out of the reach of the normal working man. But no, that's fine. You enjoy.
These
your
are the kinds of
fancy
things. So
creams.
if you're not from the UK, these are the kinds of like arguments that you will hear
On
of
the
a Saturday
streets?
night in
the
Leicester
pub.
Square
Yeah.
in the pub,
Somebody be like, I use fucking Diprobase, you cunt, and then there'll just be the sounds of punching, just
and then
punching.
punching,
Some be
thumping.
like, yeah, well, I actually use oh fucking hell, what's it called? the thick white one that's also an antiseptic.
Sudocrem.
I actually use Sudocrem because it helps with a couple of things, and then just the sound of breaking glass.
Yeah. I'll kill you.
Yeah, and then if you go to the theatre district, it's people like dressed up as bottles of E45 going da 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 da, and then fighting with knives, being a sort of balletic fashion.
Hmm. Oily.
Diprobase, double base. So many.
I don't use baby
creams.
skin. No, no.
Oh, you should try it. Not that I've used it. The busy guys. The Sudocrem wars of the 90s. Yeah. Oh God, there was so much moisture in the streets, running into the gutters. That would cause
Everyone
so
had
many
beautiful
problems.
glowing skin.
If they still had skin at all. If you had
Yeah.
skin, it was beautiful. That's probably what clogged all the gutters.
No doubt.
All of the creams. What is happening with? Oh, are they?
This is getting Trexel core apparently.
Oh, they're ploughing the field for next year because it's not yet. Yeah, well, you know what? For some reason, I accidentally created a brand around myself, and that brand is moisturizer, and I don't know how it happened. It was just some improv, and unfortunately, it got yes-anded to a state that I really backed myself into a corner. And then people started doing videos on Instagram of them pretending to drink moisturizer, and at that point, I simply had to stop watching. Things had gone too far. It did, yeah,
That's
yes,
really
accidentally. Almost every single facet of Trexel's character is entirely accidental.
Yes, you said something because you had to keep the scene going.
Yeah, and then it just got absorbed into the canon.
Yep, and it became canon. That's what happens.
Which is why, as with most characters, Trexel is just an expression of things I'm thinking about but didn't want to talk about, but then in a scene panic talked about, and now everyone knows.
Yep.
Firefly. Now I'm imagining a damp Trexel. Wet Trex. Delicious. Basically, guys, and then you got all of us. We are your own creation. Sonar Penguins, the way you could have stopped the bit at any point, because we know you will say, this is nothing, and Stato. No. This is nothing happens when it's like, I don't think this is amusing. Not, I don't agree with this. Although if it was something that I thought, maybe this is
It was
like
genuinely
this is like
objectionable. Yeah.
morally reprehensible to say because,
Yeah.
not even that.
Unless it's morally reprehensible in a fun way.
Yeah, like making jokes, like murder, pretty morally reprehensible, but fine about making jokes about it. Other crimes, no. But it's not like that's because I think murder is... It's very strange how there are some things where there's just... I imagine it's a societal norms thing. But yeah, there are some crimes, serious crimes, life-changing crimes that you would never wish on your worst enemy.
Yeah.
That have
Like
absolutely
stealing
fine to make
from an
jokes.
employer or something. You know?
You never want to do that because that would
You
hurt the
never
economy.
joke about that.
Never
Yeah.
joke about it. But there are other ones, and again, we won't go into what because again, it's really, really depressing and not the vibe.
Yeah. Well, you just take those
go-
off the table.
But you just go, well, of course you'd never. But he's like, what? Because you think murder's funny? It's like, no, I don't think murder's funny. But jokes about murder are funny. Yes. Okay, explain that to me. I simply can't.
I can't, and I
I'm
won't.
sure a
I don't have-
sociologist can.
Yeah, somebody can, but not me.
No, not me. Image Cat Postum, you got moisturizer and Jenny got feet, and I can't remember if we forced that character choice upon Jenny or if Jenny came up with that. I have no idea. I'm sure someone knows. Image Cat Postum, David Simon was slimy. He was. Slippery boy. You try and catch him. It's like a fish.
Slips through your fingers.
But if you can catch him, you can keep him. That's the rule, though. Right. Plant my fields. Increase my yields. Right, I'm going to make that priority high. So that one definitely gets done and we don't get a weird half-done situation of 2 half-done fields. Leroy's, hey Tim, why is the King of the Castle widget still on? Oh, because I forgot to turn it off. Can the King of the Castle, can you just, I mean, we're nearly 2 hours in and we're going to finish probably in the next 10 minutes. So I'm not going to go and turn it off now because we're playing King of the Castle on the weekend and I will forget to turn it back on again. Yeah. But I'm glad that no one else noticed. So it clearly can't have been that in the way.
You can just,
I think you can
if you
get rid
just
of
click
can't
it, it just closes. It just
Don't know
sort of
penguins.
turns
Oh,
into a
butts.
little icon.
you? Oh, no, sorry, Sam. That's me. I turned into a little icon.
Bing.
I just realised I hadn't looked at Ko-fi at all. And I think there were things on Ko-fi I should have thanked people for. But I didn't because I'm a monster. Yes. Sarah. Monthly donations came in. Sarah's came in. Thank you very much to Sarah. Jenny Munchkin as well. Thank you very much. And RC Birdie. All donated. Because they're monthly supporters of the good
Very
shit.
generous.
Stream Brothers Meredith. Shelley Happy Goth. Oh, I was very much wondering what that thing was about. I like the idea you kept looking and going, I wonder why this thing...
Huh.
I won't tell them. I hold you personally responsible for this. It's your fault now. Your fault. Your fault.
My fault. Twitch.com. We've updated.
Oh,
our
no,
terms of
sorry, Sam.
service.
It's twink.com you're looking
Twitch.tv.
for.
Twink.com.
Oh, sorry, no, twink.tv actually I think would still also work.
Twink TV. The smoothest TV around.
Mustn't. Continue. Sentence. Resist. Say things.
Yes, and
The right time. Sorry. I think I just burst a blood vessel. Sorry. So they're going to be craftsy. So I think over here it will just be eggs. Not to create some sort of existential crisis.
nice.
Ooh, crikey.
I once saw a guy do
I
like
never saw a guy.
a 15. I've seen a guy, and I saw a guy do a 15-minute stand-up set, and 10 minutes of it was egg puns.
Okay.
And it wasn't very good because he was sort of self-consciously delivering them whilst reading them off a bit of paper.
Yeah.
Because most of stand-up is in the delivery. Because if you'd done 10 minutes of egg puns with like unbroken eye contact with one member of the audience,
Yeah. You could really just.
I think that would have been really good. But you can't apologetically deliver 10 minutes of egg puns.
No. You got to do it or not do it. You can't.
Yeah. Really
dance
lean into
around
it.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Mhm.
And that was Yoda's sort of advice on stand-up, really.
Yep, that's what he's talking about.
He's talking about Type 5 at the Comedy Store. Versima, I'm going to
With a
ask
chuckle hut you will go. They're all
Tour
called
it
the
round.
chuckle hut.
Tour it round the regions, you will. Work the material up
Have
to
a-
an appropriate state for New York, you shall.
Good opener you must have.
Versima, just before you continue, fucking stop it. Just fucking stop it. Elfie BLW has quoted me, Everybody says, may I just say, I have so many crimes from these streams now documented in my Google sheet. There's been so many mouthwords over the years. For example, Ben, get in the penis business, get it out, flop it down on the table and say $20, followed shortly by the birth of the phrase unique selling penis. I'm sure in context I had a very, 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 very good reason to say any of those things, and I'm sure it was in the interests of, I'm going to say, national security. But importantly, Firefly has just donated over Ko-fi saying, I'm driving a moving truck 2,300 kilometers in a few weeks with 2 cats. If you and Sam could put one song each on my playlist, which would you choose? Ooh, okay.
Oh, one song.
One song is very
these are
different.
driving songs.
Yeah, sorry. So Firefly, who will be in chat, do you want like just like music, good music that you'll like, or do you want like this is about like I'm driving, we need to be sort of like keeping you awake and alert? Because
I'm not a songs guy. I'm an albums guy. I'm one of those tedious bellends who listens to entire albums.
Sam has forgotten that the word is just old. The phrase is just old, and you can just say that and people
Old.
understand.
I'm an old man.
He's an old man.
Oh God.
He was an adult before the iPod Touch was a thing. Can you fucking imagine?
I remember the first iPod
Back in my
weighed
day.
75 kilograms. It did.
Okay. The
Size of an oil drum.
The fast says good music, and we'll also just accept an album recommendation. So Sam, you're in the clear. So you can. I think my album answer would be different from my song answer as well.
Yeah, my album that I would recommend is Fine by Sonoyo, Sonoio. The third album by Sonoyo was called Fine, and it is. If I put a Tidal link with that, is that any help to anyone?
I'm not sure if Tidal has a free with ads version, so you might
think it
find
does,
it on
does it?
Spotify or YouTube. You stick it on YouTube, there'll be a playlist of it. I would probably. I'm gonna be weak-willed, and I'm gonna suggest 2 that I currently think would be good. I'd like you to listen to the album In Rainbows by Radiohead, top to bottom.
Good.
Copper hold hits, but obviously a little bit sad. And then as a contrast, a different kind of sad album, Real Gone by Tom Waits. Real Gone, good album. Weird, bit more weird in the middle. Firefly, God, that's a good album. Which one? I'm assuming In Rainbows, because you've got there first. FBW, Tim, it's hard enough to read with the rocking of the It's hard enough to read with the rocking of the boat without you. Ben, am I turning the page? Tim, no, you might need to turn it back round. Amy, Tim, remember I found your dyslexia report recently, so we can literally go and grab it and bring it in here and shame Ben for his ableism. Ben, oh, I know how dyslexic Tim is. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, dear.
Oh, that one as well. Maybe if I just...
Oh, Firefly's already got my music on. Yeah, I should have recommended my own music.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
There we are. Sad, Zone Penguins, weird and sad. The Tim Meredith way. Yeah. No, they're a good one, Firefly. Enjoy those. God, I haven't listened to Real Gone in a while. Really, really fucking annoyingly, though, my favourite song on that album, Hoist That Rag. It's a very fun song. They remastered it and took the old version off of all the streaming platforms. And Sam, the remastered version is not good. It's much fucking worse. I know that's a matter of opinion, which is fair enough if they left both of the fucking versions on the streaming website. So if I now want to listen to the original version, I'm going to have to go and buy a CD of it and make sure it's from before a certain time. But it's very weird. Like, you don't remaster an album and then take the original down. I don't understand. Unless maybe there was a rights issue and they were like, oh, we need to fuck with the whole thing. And then put the new thing up.
yeah.
Like, that's the only reason, like a Taylor's version situation. I don't. But then why did the old one come down?
Yeah, if it's digital, then they'd have. They might have the same ISRC if they were the same original recording. That might be the issue.
I don't know. I have no idea why they did it. No, I know Firefly. And the thing is, they've got so much of a catalogue as well. Even if they did play some of it, you're going to be disappointed.
I had an argument with Spotify once because I was listening to an old Ministry album, and one of the tracks was a live version of one of the same song, but a live performance of it. And I was like, this is the wrong track on here. And they're like, no, it's not. And I was like,
yes, it is.
it is. Okay, it is. I have a physical copy here, and it doesn't sound the same. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, it is. You're right. I was like, don't fucking argue with me.
My default position was you're wrong, shut up, and then you had some evidence, and I was like, oh, okay, well, then we'll look into it then, I suppose.
Yeah.
FBW, you cannot milk this plant. You can milk the Pope. You cannot milk this plant. I'm guessing these are, again, all just quotes. Christina, speaking of your music team, is there any way you might put the Everywhere Fires album on YouTube as well? Oh, yeah, shit, I haven't done that. Yeah, I can do that. I tried to put it on the streaming platforms, and it turns out that because of the way the music works, I'd have to buy... It doesn't. I'd have to buy a completely new set of, like, profiles on the websites that... You can't publish things under two names. It's like you buy a subscription to it, because you have to buy... You cannot personally publish music to Spotify. Doesn't work. They don't want you to do that.
They won't accept it. Yeah.
So you have to sign up to one of the services that then will push your music to these sites because they have, you know, an official way of doing it. Like the way your accountant can talk to HMRC, but you can't. Not that I'm angry. So I have one of those, and it's not super expensive, but it's enough money that, you know, because I don't really make that much money out of music. It's only worth doing it that way.
It's enough to make it not.
And I was like, okay, I'd like to publish this stuff under a different name. And like, no. You'd have to completely, like, new thing, new profile, new logins, new email addresses. You cannot do this like this. And so I tried to upload it, and it all got rejected because it was like the name on your cover art isn't the same as the name on your profile.
God's sake.
And I understand why they have those restrictions, because they want to make sure that people are, like, putting things, but they also are doing it because it means they have to pay them twice. So I think what I need to do is, as much as I want to use Everywhere Fires as the name for it elsewhere, I might actually just cave in and go, right, I'm going to adjust the cover art and I'm going to put it on, and it's going to turn up under Tim Meredith.
You're going to go back to Beanbags
McGee, because like I can't manage the fucking admin.
Oh, they won't fucking let you use an alternative name.
No. And the thing is, I don't think anyone cared except me, really. So I might just like I'll leave that one as it is on Bandcamp.
I think it was a good instinct what you were doing there.
But unfortunately, admin-wise,
the logistics of Restum says, might it be easier and faster to just legally change your name to Everywhere Fires?
I'd still have to pay them for a new account because I've already told them my name is Tim Meredith, and so they're like, even if I turn up with court papers instead of legally changed my name, like, oh, okay, in which case, still pay us the same amount of money again. FBW, correct but bad. The Ben Meredith story. They call him Mr. Well Actually himself. 'Tis I, professional reply guy. Yes, Christina. Yes, Tim. Yes, yeah. Thank you. I want to add it to my Tim's excellent music playlist on YouTube. Thank you very much. Oh, Firefly gifted a gift sub to Christine. They gifted 35 subs. Thank you very much, Firefly, for doing so. Right, it's 11. I should probably go to Bodmin Beds.
It's Betty Buy's time.
It's Betty Buy's time. Save your game, Tim. Otherwise, you'll forget. Thank you all for joining us for a little impromptu evening stream. Thank you, Sam, because Sam's often the one who's like, hey, I'm available for streaming. I'm like, yes, that would be fun, because otherwise I just forget that it's an option, because this ain't fucking helping. So thank you all. We will see you this Sunday, if not before, for some King of the Castle, the Rise of the North. In which I now have some people on my side, because after they killed me, their interests started to align with me, which I'm liking. I'm liking that we're changing the dynamic. So it's everyone against everyone, I win. Everyone against Tim, I lose. Now it's 1 with Tim, 2 against, but I'm also there.
Happens.
We'll see what happens, the dynamic.
It was also funny watching the exact thing that plays out in Revolutions play out immediately.
It's almost as if that the dynamics that occur in a silly little thing that doesn't matter amongst a small group also play out in almost exactly the same way in incredibly high stakes life and death on a national scale. It's weird, that, isn't it? Very weird.
Isn't it weird?
And a little bit troubling, but also how it works. Amy's never done a crime in her life.
No.
I don't know, man. Hang on, I'll just read this and then we'll finish. FW, quoting again, like, if I'd been mean in the first place, he never would have dared to mock me to the point that I threw a ball at his head. Amy, listen to yourself. I have to be so mean. I have to be mean to him so he keeps in line. It's not the thing that anybody in good character, who is the good character in the story, says. Has she taken that on board? Has she? Fuck. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you again soon.
Bye bye. Love you. Bye bye.